Our Mythbuster is apple damage.
We are going to be testing whether a baseball bat, golf club, or tennis racket will cause the most damage to an apple when hitting.
Our hypothesis is that if we hit an apple with a baseball bat, then it will cause the most damage compared to a tennis racket or golf club.
Our controls in this experiment is the type of apple, which is called a red dill. And our force of swing is also another control, is because we have to have the same person hitting it each time to have the same amount of power. Weighing the apple before and after we hit it to see how much damage it has caused. Right now, it weighs 251 grams.
Yep! That weighs 251 grams! First we're going to hit the apple with the baseball bat because that's what we think will cause the most damage.
Oh! After hitting the apple with the baseball bat, it only weighs 199 grams, which means it lost 52 grams. Next we will be hitting with a tennis racket, and this is the apple we'll be using, and it weighs 250 grams. After hitting it with the tennis racket, it now weighs 200 grams, which means it lost 50 grams. Now we will be hitting the apple with a golf club, and before we hit it, it weighs 270 grams. After hitting the apple with the golf club, it only weighs 260 grams, which means it only lost 10 grams.
While we were recording, we were measuring the speed of how long the apple was in the air from hitting the instrument to hitting the ground. And for the baseball bat, it was in the air for 1.93 seconds. For the tennis racket, it was in the air for 1.15 seconds. And for the golf club, it was in the air for 2.6 seconds. Our data after performing the experiment was that the baseball bat caused the most damage and it lost 52 grams. Then the tennis racket lost 50 grams, which did the second most damage. And the golf club only lost 10 grams, which did the least damage.
In conclusion to our experiment, the myth was busted. Our hypothesis was correct because we thought that the baseball bat would cause the most damage to the apple because it did. Because it lost the most weight after hitting it. And then we also thought that the tennis racket would cause the second most damage, and we thought that the golf club would cause the least, and our hypothesis in the end was correct. Hitting it with the baseball bat, it only weighs...
Keep going. The bloopers.
Wait, not yet. I wasn't ready.
After we hit it, we took the pieces that...
While we were hitting the apples, we recorded the speed from how long the apple was in the air from right when it hit the instrument to right when it hit the ground. And the speed...
That doesn't sound...
Okay, fine. Redo it.